Away from that, the government has suffered a blow after the High Court prohibited the National Security Council from deploying police officers to Haiti. The High Court judge Chacha Mwita, who delivered the judgment, said the manner used in the deployment is unconstitutional, null and void. The latest ruling comes on the heel of a newly found truce between the judiciary and the executive following a meeting that involved all the three arms of government. Chacha has more on that story.
The government overstepped its constitutional mandate in its quest to deploy police officers in Haiti. In its ruling, the High Court has stated the National Security Council has no legal mandate to deploy police officers under the law, adding that it can only do so with the Kenya Defense Forces.
We can always find some reason for bending the language of the Constitution to our will if we want. But that would be rewriting the Constitution in the guise of interpretation. We must also remember that the Constitution is an organic instrument intended to endure, and its provisions must be interpreted having regard to the Constitution objectives and the goals, and not in the light of how a particular government may be acting at a given point of time.
High Court Justice Chacha warned that any other action taken by any other state organ in furtherance of the deployment's decision will also be invalid, null and void.
That any law that is inconsistent with the Constitution is void to the extent of the inconsistency, or any act or omission in contravention of the Constitution is invalid.
Justice Mwita had on October 24, 2023 extended orders stopping the deployment of the officers to Haiti for a peacekeeping mission pending the determination of a case filed by Third Way Alliance Party leader Ekuru Aukot.
I come from a place called Capedo. Maybe many of you have heard about Capedo. It's a battleground. You know, people being killed every other day. There is no enough police service there. So really, what wisdom could possibly have driven President William Ruto to make that roadside declaration that Kenya police, who are very inadequate in our own country, could be deployed to another country, to a gangster, to a gangland?
Through Advocate Charles Midenga, they say the law provides for the deployment of only military personnel, and even in such cases, the public must be consulted.
There has to be a gazette notice, a request, and then it has to be gazetted, and then it has to go through Parliament. So if that is not there, then no deployment of police officers can happen.
The court was also said to determine whether some sections of the National Police Service Act were constitutional, as it was otherwise argued.
The inconsistency must be plain and clear when the provision is laid against the article of the Constitution is said to be inconsistent with. Have I gone through the various articles of the Constitution the sections are said to be inconsistent with? I have not been able to find any inconsistency between the puned sections and those articles.
The ruling effectively blocks President William Ruto's administration from deploying at least 1,000 police officers to the gang-ridden nation. On the other hand, the ruling also serves as a litmus test for truce that was struck between the executive and the judiciary following weeks of sustained attacks from the executive. For Tandao News Look at 1, I'm Joy Sitati.